Welcome to The Good with Dr. Joe.
Right now it's 12 noon Eastern Time. That's Atlanta. It's 9 a.m. West Coast, Los Angeles. It's about 5 p.m. in London, England. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking to you about real estate, and we have a real estate guru with us today. So, Ms. Snow, go ahead and introduce yourself, and after that, introduce real estate.
My name is Pat. I'm a realtor. Been a realtor since 1979.
Wow, that is a long time. So that's why I call her the guru.
Yeah, about 100 years, I think.
100 years?
Yeah, close to it.
Oh my God, that's a long time. Okay, well, we're glad to have you here today. Obviously, we're going to be getting a lot of wisdom here today. All right, so let me go and introduce real estate, and then after that, I'm going to bring in Ms. No to talk to us about a little bit about what she wants to share, and then I'll talk to you about the investing side of real estate. Now, I want you to let you know, whether you're renting, whether you own a house or whatever, you are participating one way or the other in real estate investment. So what you have to do is to look at exactly what you're doing to see whether you're getting any returns. Are you getting any returns on your real estate investing? That's a big question. Of course, real estate is going to be here forever because somehow we're going to have places to live. We're going to have places to run our business.
Places to live.
Yeah, okay.
Places to live.
Places to live.
Right.
Places. What's another word for live?
Live is live. L-I-V.
Okay, to reside. To reside.
Yeah.
And, you know,
reside. Yes,
yeah,
that's
reside.
good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, place to reside or live.
Okay.
You know.
Hang your hat.
Pardon my accent. Hang your hat. I like
good.
that.
Yeah, that's good.
Place to hang your hat.
Yeah.
Wow. How about if you don't have a hat? Maybe a coat.
Maybe a coat. A place to flop.
Okay, place to flop. Okay, we'll take that. Okay. All right, now, so we're going to turn it over to Miss Pat to tell us a little bit about real estate from her perspective.
Okay, we're going to start with buyers.
Yes.
I've got my notations here.
Let's do it.
So one of the most important things with a buyer, once you decide the property you're going to buy, if it's a house, that is, you need to have an inspection.
Okay.
And that clause always goes in the contract, even if it's a new house. And we used to have termite laws in the state of Georgia. They've been gone for quite a while. So I suggest, now this is a must, to put a termite inspection in your contract. And that inspection cannot be more than 30 days old.
Why is that important, the termite thing?
Georgia is the second state in the nation for termite infestations.
Wow.
And that's because of the climate. Florida's first. Georgia is second. And, you know, if a house has a little age on it, it's not, has it had a infestation? It is going to have one.
I see.
The house I live in is fairly old, and we've had 2 infestations.
I see.
How old, another thing really important, how old's the hot water heater? How old's the heating air? And when was the last inspection on the heat and air? If those are beginning to get up between 15 and 20 years old, the replacement's imminent. And that's about the most important things I can think of at the moment for buyers. What do you think, Joe?
Now, if I ask you, are you saying that the certain appliances or certain part of the house?
What do you mean?
Like you talked about the age of the HVAC, right? The AC.
Yeah, the heat and air is your major... Those are major investments.
Yes. So are you saying that there's a certain range? Is there a lifespan or a life expectancy?
Yeah, I just said, yeah. Usually if it's between 15 and 20 years old, it's getting close to replacement time.
So if you go in the house and they said that's the original AC and the house is between 15 and 20, you know you're going to need a new one.
Right. If the house is 25 years old or 30 years old, you know that thing's going to blow any time.
How about the roof? Do you have any information on the roof?
Well, roofing is, you know, it depends on the price of the house. If you're buying a new house and it's in the low range, they're going to put as cheap a roof on it as possible.
I see.
if you go into a higher priced house and they got an architectural roof on it, most architectural roofs are guaranteed for 20 years.
I see.
Or some 25 now. So you can usually eyeball a roof.
Does inspection, does that also require
No, an
inspection?
inspector does not.
They don't inspect the
They
roof?
do not do
I
the
see.
roofing. You have to get a special inspector for roofing
I see.
and a special inspector for plumbing and electricity.
Maybe a roofing, like a roofing expert or
Right.
electrician to do
Yeah.
that. Okay. All right. So that's on the buying side, right? That's when you're
Right.
buying. Okay.
Right. Now we'll cover sellers.
Okay.
Curb appeals everything when you're trying to sell a house. So dress up the front of the house. If your door needs painting or it's a pale color, put a vibrant, eye-catching color on your front door. Put some flowers out. You know, they can be potted flowers. Set them around the porch, steps, stoop, whatever you have on the front. If you don't want to plant flowers, don't know how to dig a hole, get some artificial ones, shove them in a pot, and they will dress up the house as well.
Now, talking about flowers, are there any particular type? Maybe if you're trying to sell, maybe in the fall season, or you want to sell in the summertime, are there some particular flowers that work with season, and also with colors? Also,
Well, you just want a vibrant color,
okay,
and
vibrant.
it depends on the shade and sun in front of the house, what kind of light you get as to what kind of flowers you put out. If it's in the wintertime, which is not the best time to sell, by the way, if it's in the wintertime, use artificial flowers.
I see.
You buy some nice artificial flowers from a distance, you can't tell.
Now, let me ask you this. How about, because you're talking about the curb appeal, right? So the curb appeal, doesn't that include the lawn?
Well, yes. Mm-hmm.
So what do you do about the lawn?
You keep it mowed.
Keep it what?
You keep it mowed. Don't let the grass grow up.
Oh, don't let the grass grow up.
MOWED, mowed.
So how does that help with the curb appeal?
Well, I mean, if the grass is long,
Yeah.
it looks like the house is not being maintained
Oh, okay,
real
I see
well.
what you mean. I see what you mean.
It gives an impression
Yeah.
of lack of maintenance.
Of course. So you got to cut the grass. You got to mix it. Actually, I was actually talking in terms of the winter time when the grass actually don't grow.
Now, I've had many real estate agents have told me that a good-looking front door will sell a house. I don't know if that's true or not. However, it doesn't hurt to try it because it certainly will not do any damage or hurt the curb appeal. But the better the door looks, the better. An agent will advise you how to do the inside of your house. First thing you want to do is declutter. That kind of hurts sometimes with some people. But believe me, if you declutter your house, it will sell twice as fast. Make sure everything's clean and tidy. Be prepared to leave when you have a showing. Under no circumstances are you to stay in a house when it's being shown by a real estate agent. And you got to plan ahead if you have dogs, what you're going to do with them, because they need to get out of the house when somebody's coming to show. And any other animals that you might have in the house. And oh yeah, if you got animals, be sure you freshen up the house. You don't want anything to smell bad when people walk through the front door.
Let me ask you this. You're saying when you get ready to show, if your agent's coming to show, it's best. You didn't say it's best. You said under no circumstance should you be at a house.
Exactly.
What are the benefits or the advantages and disadvantages of you being there or not being there?
It's been my experience when showing houses, if the owner's there, they can't keep their mouth shut. And they trail around after you in every room you go into. I've had 2 instances in my career when the seller has been at home and they've killed the sale with their mouth, with what they say.
Would you think they are trying to maybe sell their property or trying to protect their property?
If that's the way they feel, they don't need a real estate agent.
I see. So
do it yourself.
Okay, I see what you mean.
You can't play both sides of it. You either let your agent, who is a professional, take care of it, or try to sell the house yourself.
I see.
You got to make up your mind which way you want to do it.
Of course, you have the option of sale by owner. Is that how you put it?
Yeah, sale by
Yeah,
owner.
for sale by owner. I think you see a lot of those signs for sale by owner. Now, there's advantages of doing that. There's also disadvantages of doing that. Whatever you do, there's always going to be two sides. There's going to be the good side and the bad side of whatever you do. Whether you're doing it by the owner or you're doing it by the agent.
I'm just going to slip this in real quick. Some people in my subdivision put their house up for sale by owner. They sold it in a week. The problem with their sale was this. They sold to an investment company in California. They're going to rent out that house. Now, my neighborhood is important to me because my neighbors govern the price I can get out of my house. An investment company in California doesn't care how that house looks, who lives in it, as long as they get their monthly income. And that may be what's going to start happening in Atlanta, because the Atlanta market, even though to us it's right now high, to other states and other cities, the Atlanta market's very low and very good.
Okay, you're saying this. What do you mean high? You mean it's hot, or what do you mean?
I mean high priced.
Okay, high price. Okay, so the prices are high because the demand is high versus supply. Supply
and
is
the
low right
demand
now.
is high because our interest rate is so low.
Yeah, I see. All right, but at one point you raised about a California company buying property here and probably undermining the what you guys have.
Well,
in place.
it's just an investment company. All they care about, they're going to rent out that house for so long, and then they're going to sell it.
I see. So now, but don't you have HOA? Don't you have HOA?
An HOA, yes, but after a subdivision becomes so old, if they have not, covenants run for 20 years.
I see.
At the end of that 20 years, if the HOA has not renewed the covenants, then they expire.
I see.
Once covenants expire, you no longer have an HOA who can enforce people keeping up their property as it should be.
I see. Wow. So having HOA is very, very critical, right?
I think an HOA is very important. I would not buy in a subdivision if they did not have an HOA.
Does that impact the value of the property?
Well, sure.
Yeah, I see.
Sure. It helps keep the property values up.
I see. All right. What else you have for us, Ms. Nell?
The only thing I can say is, if you know something needs to be replaced or repaired, you're getting ready to put your house on the market, you need to do that before you put it on the market. Because I assure you, if it's something can be seen, your prospective buyers are going to see it. If it can't be seen, an inspector will certainly find it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Nell. That is
very welcome.
Over 30 years of experience in the real estate
That was a nice
market, right?
Thank you, Joe.
I'm trying to be modest,
Yes.
But anyway, that's great. That's great. So right now very soon we're going to open up and start taking calls. The number to call is 678-708-4567. It's 708. Actually, 678.
What is that number, Joe?
678-708-4567. So you can ask any questions, either about our topic that we're talking about today, which is real estate, or topics that we talked about before, the PPP, the IDOR, starting a business, taking care of your eyes, whatever we talked about on this podcast. We are always ready to take your call. All right, so let me talk a little bit about the investment side of things. The call is coming to. So we're gonna hold off on the call for a minute. All right, so the investment side of it, just like I was saying earlier on today in my intro, that whether you live in a house, whether you are renting, there is some sort of investment that you are involved in. As long as you are paying money for rent or you are paying money for mortgage, you are actually a real estate investor. Now, you may not be doing yours on a large scale.
I just felt a little shake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a large scale. Yeah, and that. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I just happened to think.
Yeah.
You really need to know what kind of mortgage you get.
Yeah.
Some mortgages state that you cannot sell the house the first 12 months you
Yeah.
have your mortgage. And
Yes.
some of them even put a more limit than that. Also, your mortgage will usually state you cannot rent.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, of course, you have to follow all of those, you know. But see, having said that, though, you're still okay. Our calls are coming through. So yeah, please call. Let me tell this guy, you need to call the right number.
Who is that?
It's 678. The number to call is 678-708-4567. 678-708-4567. I'm going to hand this over to one of our lead teams here to please put it in. Please have him. Please type in that I should call. You should call 678-708-4567. That's the number we're using today. Call. All right. So the real estate investment issue, whether you have one home or 10 homes, you are doing some sort of investment. Oh, okay. So you're doing some sort of investment. So what you have to do is to figure out, are you getting any return on your investment? And this is why when you are buying a home, just like Ms. Noah was saying, there's so many things that you got to consider, before you buy. Okay, somebody is saying buy and hold. Buy and hold. Okay, so there's a question that just came through and wants to know buy and hold and how to handle buy and hold. All right.
I know. What is buy and hold?
Yeah. So you buy and you keep. You don't sell it right away. You either rent it or you remember the guy across the street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
This is the Good with Dr. Joe. Thank you for calling. You're on air. Please go ahead with your question or comment.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Andy Davis. How you doing, Dr. Joe?
Very good. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate your call. Go ahead, please.
Awesome. This is pretty nice to hear the experts that's got experience over 30 years. And my concern is in the market we're having in Georgia right now.
Yes.
Is it more like a buyer or a seller's market?
Oh, definitely is the seller. Why? Because there's very few homes available for people to buy. So the seller right now, and if Ms. Snow was saying that a minute ago, that you have to correctly price your property, so that you can get the optimate. Is it optimate or maximum profit? Yeah.
Pricing's real delicate because if you price it too low, you lose a buyer.
Yeah.
If you price it too high, you lose a buyer.
So, but to answer, yeah,
you can always remember this. You can always come down, but it's really hard to go up.
I see. So she's saying that it's always better to start high and you can negotiate down.
Right.
Okay. Then the other question you asked about, whether it's the buyer or seller's market, is actually the seller's market, because you remember the house property not very far from me, it was listed for within 3 days, the house sold. And right now, if you're putting an offer on properties, at the time you put your offer in, there are about maybe 5 or 6 other offers already in front of you.
And I forgot to mention this, but you need to, if you're not a cash buyer, if you're going to do a mortgage,
yes, you
need to get a mortgage approval before you start looking at the property. That way you know what price range you can afford to buy in.
Yes, that's a critical for buyers. Especially for first-time buyers and people who are new to mortgage.
Right.
And this is information. I mean, most agents actually require that.
Well, I would not. Most sellers are not going to accept a contract unless they know you have the money to buy.
Wonderful. Yes, Mr. Andy, thank you so much for calling. Do you have any other question or comment?
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling, and please like our page, subscribe to our YouTube page. All this filming today, copy of this show, we're going to post to our YouTube page, so you can also watch us there. Thank you so much for calling.
Thanks.
All right, then. Bye. All right. So yes, like I was saying, somebody's asked about buy and hold. Buy and hold is the situation whereby there are too many houses out there for sale, and you find something with a good deal.
Well, What's the question?
So the question is that how do they handle the buy and hold situation?
Well, it depends if you got a mortgage. If you're a cash buyer, then you can do anything you want to with it. You can let it sit there, or you can rent it.
Yes, that's
and
true.
If you buy and you're going to rent for, like you want to hold for a year or two, so you're going to rent it out so you create income.
Yes.
Then you got to have a special type mortgage for renters.
That's actually not a bad idea, because you just don't want to buy and sit it there. Like the guy across the street, I'm not sure what the plan is. Remember that property is just sitting there, So sometimes you can't really get in the head of people. But I say before you go into buying and holding, have an exit plan, have an exit strategy. All right, so our time is up. I think what we may have to do, we may have to consider continue the real estate investing for maybe next week. Can we do it again next week? Yes. No?
We can try.
Yeah. So let's so we can finish up. We didn't really have enough time to go into the investing part of it. What you have to do when you're getting ready to make an offer on a property, what you have to look at, how to get inspectors, how to get a contractor to give you some idea of what's going to cost to repair the house.
Well, if you're working with a real estate agent, they can recommend inspectors.
Yes.
And you don't have to worry about that. And, so many of things about purchasing property. Oh, I'm going to interrupt myself. The best place to put your money, if you're looking for an investment,
yes,
the best place to put it's in dirt.
I see.
Dirt's always safe. Dirt never goes away. They're not making any more of it. Acreage is a wonderful thing to buy if you're looking for a place to put money.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more about this next week. So next week, we're going to be continuing our conversation on real estate investing. Thank you so much for listening today. Check out our YouTube page. Is The Good with Dr. Joe. We're going to post this on today. Also like us on Instagram. It's The Good with Dr. Joe. Thank you so much. Any last words?
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Okay.